It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning and welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on this Saturday, the 18th day of April, 2020. Welcome to everybody on this Saturday morning here in Virginia. It's a little bit warmer today than it's been the last couple days, but it's windy. Man, is it blowing out there. I was just outside just a couple minutes ago, and as you can tell from my hair, I've got blown to death. Oh, well, not worrying about that. A couple things we want to talk about this morning. It's going to be a short show because there's not a whole lot of stuff other than, the same COVID stuff. First, let's say welcome to everybody. Full house this morning. Gretchen, Bonnie, Tom Henry's here. Jason, I'm glad you're here. I got something for you later on in the show. As a matter of fact, Jason, we'll take care of you first thing. Tom is with us also. Tom was, what does Tom say here? He was up early to get in line at 6:45 for the local Texas Roadhouse food sale, garden produce and steak package. Awesome. Jason, okay, we got a couple other people popping in here. Robert Luquette, that's a new name for me. Hi there. Hi, Robert, and welcome aboard. For you guys that are new, Arlene Adams, also good morning to you, Arlene. You guys that are new, we regularly post videos in all facets of the travel and cruise industry. We do interview shows called Chillie Chats, and we do the travel and cruise industry news on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday morning at 11 o'clock. So Jason has asked about my critter, if I have taken care of the critter that's underneath the house. And no, I haven't, Jason, but I will tell you what has happened with the critter. He was just under there a few minutes ago. Of course, this morning he's getting out of that wind out there, I'll tell you. But see, what happened, what we found out is that I thought it was Gravelly Hill Greg, the groundhog, that was under the house making some noise. But it turns out that it's Juanita. That's Gravelly Hill Greg's better half, Juanita, and she has produced an offspring. So the house artist, that's the one that also painted the picture of the turtle. The house artist has come up with a drawing of Juanita. I guess that's a groundhog that eats tacos. I don't know. But Juanita and her baby that's under the house. And then it's not done yet. She's working on turning it into a regular painting. So that's at the middle part of whatever artists do to put likenesses on canvas of Juanita the groundhog and baby Julio or whatever that's under the house. So my days of taking care of the critters under the house are long past because now that she's in the same boat as Tina Turtle. By the way, if you're new, folks, behind me back, whoops, there I go. Oh, it's this way. That's Tina Turtle back there on the wall. She nibbles on my ear. As always, folks, we always appreciate thumbs up on anything we do. So if you would like to spare us a thumbs up, that would be great. Tina Turtle especially likes thumbs up. Give me a thumbs down. I don't care. But that lets YouTube know that you guys are out there. So anyway, Jason, that takes care of the information on Tina Turtle, not on Tina Turtle, on the groundhog, the critter under the house. So a couple other things to mention. One, I will be again on Sunday this week. That's tomorrow, co-hosting a show with Pete and John from Solo Cruises from London. We do that on Sunday afternoons now, 2 o'clock our time here in the Eastern Daylight Time, 7 o'clock England time, and of course Pete is over there. He talks funny. Of course, we don't talk funny over here, but he talks funny over there. So you might want to pop in and see Big Ben, and we're going to do some silliness and some games and stuff tomorrow. So that'll be tomorrow afternoon with the three nutcases, Pete, John, and me. We got to come up with a nickname for us, something that's not too awful, but something strange. Anyway, the three old fat poop cruise people. I don't know, something crazy. So, okay. I tell you what, while we're stopped, before we get to business, let's just get this out of the way. Do you have a bad back, bad hips, bad knees, or any other mobility issues? Think about Scootaround. For scooters, walkers, wheelchairs, even oxygen needs, delivered right to your cabin. Scootaround for all your mobility needs on your upcoming cruise. Okay, got the commercial word out of the way. I know Pete, matter of fact, Pete from London's on now. He's the Cruise Amigos. That's about the three of us. Cruises for Solas Facebook group. I didn't specify specifically on that, but you'll find links on all of our stuff about that. And Nicole Duncan from Naples, Florida is on the Facebook side. So hi, Nicole. Glad you're with us. Hi, Chillie Adventures with Duncan. Oh, Adventures with Duncan. Okay, welcome aboard, Nicole. Glad to have you. As always, it's good to see you guys. Okay, now, got one story this morning to talk about. Actually, two. But the main story for today has to deal with Bernard Meyer. Some of you may know Bernard Meyer of Meyer Werft, the folks that build cruise ships over there in Germany. They build ships for Carnival. They build ships for Royal Caribbean. They're pretty big stuff. But Shipyard owner Bernard Meyer said yesterday that the current COVID-19 crisis is completely different from the challenges the industry faced in 1973 with the oil crisis, 9/11, and then again the financial crisis in 2008 and 9. Never before has the complete cruise fleet of over 400 ships stopped operating. Meyer predicts recovery is a long way off, and he thinks that it will be 2030 before his portion of the cruise industry, that's the new shipbuilding market, comes close to equaling what they did last year. It was a rather lengthy interview that he gave yesterday. It was actually part of a meeting with his employees to bring them up to what's going on in the world. And he talked about that they're renegotiating cruise orders, trying to avoid cancellations. And he just doesn't feel that the new build business is going to resume for several years. They have two different shipyards, and they have orders at 1 through 22 and 23, and the other through 24. But they're really under the impression that due to the way things are going, that some of those they'll lose, and that there will be very little new orders for them for some time to come. The other thing that was kind of interesting from this was that his managing director, which is Thomas Weigend, I'm not sure how you pronounce his name, but he's managing director of Meyer Werft, said that only 50 to 75% of the global cruise fleet will resume operations by the year end, which of course is going to result in massive losses to the cruise lines in 2020. If everything goes well, that would be followed by a break-even result in 2021. Profits not returning to these companies until 2022. So that's a rather bleak outlook from the folks that build cruise ships. So not what we all wanted to hear, but probably very truthful and factual from that end of things. The other thing that was worth mentioning concerning what's going on in the world, other than everybody knows that there's still no real sign yet of when cruises are going to resume. What the cruise companies say, what the CDC has said, the signs that I keep reading, I can't tell you when it's going to start. The new economic team and the American Economic Revival Industrial Group of President Trump, there are 3 of the cruise executives on that committee as they try to get things restarted in the United States, at least. Carnival Corporation's Mickey Arison, Royal Caribbean Cruises Chairman and CEO Richard Fain, and Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings Corporation CEO Frank Del Rio joined folks from the Las Vegas Sands Corporation and Marriott Hotel and Resorts, Intercontinental Hotel Group, and others in the hospitality industrial group on the White House committee to work on the plans for reopening. Those of you that follow the news know that President Trump issued a 3-step plan of attack for getting the country reopened. At first sight, I thought the plan made a lot of sense, taking a little step at a time, and then it seems that a lot of what was said and the initial steps were thrown out the window the next day. So I'm not sure what's going to happen. My fear right now is that the states that are jumping at things too early, too quickly, are going to get their butts bitten, because I don't think we're past the worst of this in a lot of places. I think it would be a little bit better to be conservative now and get it right than to try to get some of these areas open. Like some of the beaches yesterday in Florida were reopened and people were just palling around like there was no social distancing at all. I think that's way too early for that. Personal opinion, folks. And again, I try never to get into the political realm of things. So it's hard not to when under these circumstances. But that's the way it is. So, all right, let's go back over here to the other comments chat. Let's see. It's 55 degrees when we left home and 49 when we returned at 8 a.m. Tom's still talking about his trip out this morning. Arlene says, good morning. Good morning, Arlene. Jason says, oh boy, I'm catching up with Jason's comment about the groundhog. Tom says, welcome to Robert and Arlene. Tom Henry says, the Three Stooges. Hey, Pete, if you're still with us, that's Tom knows one of the three of us pretty well to call us the Three Stooges. You must be Curly. Thanks a lot. How about the Scoot Around Squad? Scoot Around, no, that's not bad. The Scoot Around Squad. except these guys can still walk. I'm the one that has to use the scooter around, but that's not bad. So, Bonnie, I'm wondering if our Diamond Princess, this is Tom, wondering if their Diamond Princess will be finished in time. It's a good question. A lot of the construction work has been delayed on the new ships that are in the middle of being built because over there where they build them, it's had the same kind of problems we've had here. Some of the European markets are slowly trying to get back into getting things open too. So, Tom says you got a wrong name. It's the Discovery Princess. Who knows, Tom and Bonnie, on whether that ship's going to get done on time. It's not going to get done on time, but get done and be out there and going good or not. So I've been looking at my website. I'm still working on getting it upgraded with all these changes. And the changes keep happen every day. So the one thing that I'm noticing a great deal of Carnival Cruise Line, the Carnival brand, not necessarily Princess and Holland American and the other brands under the Carnival umbrella. But Carnival itself, a lot of their cruises they're not showing any availability until after that last week of August, like August 30th. The others are still showing stuff after the middle date that they're using of somewhere in that middle of May to 1st of June date, or the June to into July from CDC. The cruise lines are not going to the CDC date, which is July the 18th, the way I counted the 100 days. So who knows on what's going to happen. Obviously, if we get the country back open again, that's going to help in the long run toward getting us there, toward us getting back cruising again. But keep in mind, folks, the cruise industry cannot restart until the rest of the country has restarted. You got to be able to have plenty of airfare available. The majority of cruises count on a lot of folks flying in and getting on those boats. They're not designed to be filled up from the ports. So, air travel's got to be back good, which means you've got to have hotels back in business, restaurants back in business. And obviously it's got to be safe for all of us to travel. And then you've got the new regulations that are going to come about on the cruise ships. And apparently everybody is looking to the Genting model that they're using on an Asia now as probably going to be the procedures in the future, as far as cleanliness and as far as how they handle getting us on and off ships. And those of us that are senior citizens, clearly we're going to have to obviously have medical approval, some kind of a certificate from our doctor that we are healthy enough to travel. And you can count on at least having your temperature checked. And if they get the right kind of testing available, it wouldn't surprise me if they don't test us all before we get on any cruise ships. So that's all got to be in place before we can start cruising again. There's folks out there that still think that they're going to be cruising during the summer months, June, July. I hope you're right, and I hope I'm wrong. I would be tickled pink if I can come back and say that I'm wrong on this one. But I'm mightily afraid that, we're not going to be cruising at least until the fall, if then. And I don't think the cruise industry is going to get back anywhere near like it's been until next year at the earliest. So that's just my thoughts from the old fat guy. Isn't the Apex still at the dry dock builder? I was thinking that was the ship that I had to use a celebrity ship, not had. Last I heard, I know that they were supposed to have the early, the media crowd on the Apex just when all this broke. As far as I know, it's still in dry dock, Tom. I am not sure on that one, but that's one I'll look into for you because I don't know, but I've not seen anything about it being out. So, Star Trek medical scanner for the MPV would be nice. Yeah, I mean, if it works. I'm not going to fuss, folks. Whatever they do to test us to make sure that we're all healthy when we get on cruise ships again, and that the ships are healthy for us to get on. Whatever they do, I'll go along with it. I'm not that you'll never hear me complain about that one. And again, I worry about things like the people that sit back and are complaining about their rights being violated because of the orders to stay at home. Yeah, I'm sorry you feel that way. On the same token, as much as I am a social critter, I'm staying home, and I'm going to continue to stay home for my health and for the health of my sister and brother-in-law, who are older than I am. Until I get some kind of complete all clear that it's healthy for me to go out. Jason popped up. The Panorama is transporting crew to the Philippines soon. Yeah, they've got several crew members that they're going to get home that have been trying to get home. Yeah, that's one of the other things, Jason. If they were really sincerely planning on getting cruise ships going again in the next 30 days or so, they wouldn't be trying to get all these crew members home. I don't think so. I think they know that we're probably done for the summer. They just don't want to announce it yet. And again, nobody has said anything about the end of August except me. And that's the signs that I keep getting from similar signs that they tip me off on every one of their, before each one of their suspension of operations moves. I saw all of those coming ahead of time. So, and I think we're going to see more. So that's it for this morning, guys. Thank all of y'all for being with me. Of course, as always, I will pop in with breaking news if we have any over the weekend. Feel free to come join us with on the Facebook page for Cruises for Solos tomorrow afternoon at 2:00 our time, 7:00 London time. Join Pete and John and I for a little silliness. So, again, folks, thank you for being with me, and I'll break in if we get anything new happening in the meantime. If not, y'all have a great weekend. I will see you again on Tuesday at 11:00 for Travel and Cruise Industry News. That's it for this morning, y'all. This is the old fat travel guy Later, y'all.
Thank you for watching today's Travel and Cruise Industry News. Join us every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern for another episode. Travel and Cruise Industry News is a production of Chillie's Cruises.